girlfriend?
None of us.
Nobody.
Why not?
Too busy and too young.
Atlanta's most adorable million-selling pop group. They're called ABC, another bad creation. And kids and adults alike are captured by their simple playground-inspired tunes and their pumping high-energy performance.
All right, imagine this. It's the early 90s in Atlanta, and you've got a group of 6 super talented guys coming together with one dream: to make it in music. And guess what? They make it happen with their debut album and drop the massive hit Isha that's basically on repeat everywhere. Then Michael Bivins hears about these guys and scoops them up. And just like that, ABC is born.
Atlanta's most adorable million-selling pop group. They're called ABC, another bad creation. And kids and adults alike are captured by their simple playground-inspired tunes and their pumping high-energy performance.
So let's rewind to the early 90s in Atlanta. This group of 6 super talented kids came together with one goal: to make it big in music. We're talking Chris Sellers, Dave Shelton, Ramel Chapman, and the Pugh brothers, Demetrius and Marlis. They all had the same dream and weren't about to let anything stop them.
And they were, in fact, the kids next door to each other in a College Park neighborhood. They were discovered by a daring dreamer while they danced on a street corner to get quarters for candy.
So here's the deal. These guys hit the jackpot when Michael Bivins, the guy from New Edition and Belle Biv DeVoe, caught wind of their talent. Bivins was a pro at spotting up-and-coming stars, and he was all about what these boys were bringing to the table. Their energy, their charisma, their natural talent. It was clear they had something special. So he stepped in and took them under his wing, becoming their mentor and producer. Talk about a game changer. Bivins knew exactly what he wanted for ABC, a group that could mix hip-hop, R&B, and that fresh new jack swing sound that was taking over. He wanted them to connect with both the younger crowd and the mainstream music scene. With Biv's guidance, the boys got to work, perfecting their choreography, vocal harmonies, and stage presence, basically making sure they were ready to take over.
Who's got a girlfriend?
None of us.
Nobody.
Why not?
Too busy and too young.
So after all that hard work, ABC dropped their debut album, Coolin' at the Playground You Know, and it was an instant hit. Tracks like Isha and Playground had everyone hooked. With their catchy hooks, energetic performances, and that fresh, youthful energy, the group quickly became fan favorites. It was clear they were here to stay. ABC's debut album skyrocketed them into the limelight, making them household names almost overnight. They were everywhere. Music videos, TV spots, and even had a cameo in Michael Jackson's Black or White video. Their mix of hip-hop and R&B, plus that fresh, youthful look, made them totally pop in the 90s music scene. They were hard to ignore.
That age, 13.
I'm Roro. I'm 13.
I'm Chris. I just turned 13.
I'm Red and I'm 12. Marking them 9.
Even though ABC was killing it at first, fame came with its own set of problems. Being young stars meant juggling school, personal lives, and the pressures of the spotlight all at once. It wasn't as easy as it seemed, and the boys had to face some serious challenges to keep it all together. Being in the spotlight at such a young age was no joke. While most people their age were just living life and figuring things out, these guys were dealing with studio sessions that never seemed to end, non-stop tours, and the constant eyes of the media. Sure, their success came with excitement and fans, but it also meant a level of attention and pressure that not many could even begin to get. On top of everything else, school was a whole other challenge. These guys were still kids when they hit it big, so juggling homework with a full-on music career was no easy feat. Even with tutors and support, trying to keep up with school while chasing their dreams took a toll. They didn't get the usual carefree childhood that most people their age did, and that was a tough part of the whole thing. As they got older, things started to shift for ABC. The boys were no longer just the group. They were growing into their own people with different interests and personalities. Naturally, that led to some tension since their fame was built on a certain image. As they tried to figure out who they were outside of the brand that made them famous, things got a little messy. It was all part of the process, but the pressure of staying in that spotlight made it way harder. On top of everything else, they had all the normal teenage stuff to deal with. Hormones, figuring out who they were, and wanting to break free from the image they were stuck with. But with the whole world watching, those typical growing pains were way more intense. Balancing personal growth with their career was tough, especially when their need for independence didn't always line up with what their careers needed from them. It was a constant push and pull between being themselves and staying in sync as a group. The music scene was changing fast, and ABC had a tough time keeping up. With gangsta rap and new genres taking over, it wasn't easy to stay relevant. Their second album, It Ain't What You Wear, It's How You Play It, didn't hit the same level as their first one. As the trends shifted, so did what fans were into, and ABC just couldn't quite adapt to what everyone was into anymore. Let's talk about the career they had a little more in-depthly. ABC had some serious career moments that really put them on the map. So like we talked about before, their debut album, Coolin' at the Playground You Know, was a total game changer. It went platinum super quickly thanks to massive hits like Isha and Playground. These tracks were straight up catchy, filled with that infectious energy and youthful vibe that made everyone pay attention. The album didn't just do well, it skyrocketed them into stardom, making them household names almost overnight. With those hits, ABC secured their place in the 90s music scene and cemented their status as one of the standout groups of the time. One of the biggest moments in ABC's career? When they landed a spot in Michael Jackson's Black or White music video. Talk about a game changer. The video was a major cultural event, and being in it with MJ himself gave ABC insane exposure. It wasn't just a cameo, it gave them a massive platform, connecting them to fans all over the world. That moment solidified their place as rising stars and pushed them even further into the spotlight. ABC wasn't just about the music. They also showed off their acting chops in The Meteor Man. The 1993 film, directed by and starring Robert Townsend, gave the group a chance to flex their acting skills and step into Hollywood. Their role in the movie helped them grow their fan base and proved they weren't just one-trick ponies. They could entertain in all kinds of ways. Other artists weren't immune to the shift either. Gangsta rap completely changed the game. As artists like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Tupac took over, it was like the entire rap scene did a 180. The focus moved from flashy pop rap hits to more gritty, street-driven stories, and artists who were riding the more upbeat party rap wave found themselves struggling to keep up. It was a new era, and not everyone made the cut.
You can't touch this. You can't touch this.
MC Hammer, born Stanley Kirk Burrell, burst onto the scene in the late 80s, mixing rap with pop energy and killer dance moves. His album, Please Hammer, Don't Hurt 'Em, and the hit You Can't Touch This made him a global star. With his iconic parachute pants and high-energy performances, Hammer became a pop culture icon, dominating MTV and the charts with songs like Hammer Time and Pray. But as the 90s went on, gangsta rap took over, with artists like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Tupac bringing a grittier edge to hip-hop. Hammer's clean pop rap style began to feel outdated. Even though he tried to switch it up with the funky Headhunter in 1994, it wasn't the same. Financial troubles from his lavish lifestyle and big entourage added to the struggle. Still, Hammer remained respected in the industry, working on new projects across music, TV, and business. Will Smith, aka the Fresh Prince, became a star with his infectious personality and fun music. His big break came in 1988 with Parents Just Don't Understand, a track he dropped with DJ Jazzy Jeff. The song, which humorously tackled the teen-parent generation gap, was a major hit and even snagged them their first Grammy for Best Rap Performance. In the beginning, Will's music was all about lighthearted, story-driven tracks, which was a major contrast to the rising gangsta rap scene. His tunes were clean and funny, making him a go-to for younger fans and parents alike. But as rap started getting grittier, Will's more playful style started to feel out of place. So Will switched things up and made the move to TV. He starred in The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, a show loosely based on his own life, where he played a street-smart kid from Philly who moves in with his rich relatives in LA. The show was a smash hit and showed off his acting chops, making him a star on screen as well. As The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air ran for 6 seasons, Will's focus shifted more to acting. He still dropped music, but his big Hollywood transition was all about securing that movie star status. He nailed blockbuster roles in films like Bad Boys, Independence Day, and Men in Black, showing he could dominate both music and movies, becoming one of Hollywood's biggest stars. Jodeci, the R&B group known for their smooth, soulful jams, found themselves facing some major struggles when gangsta rap took over the music scene in the 90s. Made up of 2 sets of brothers, KC, JoJo, Devontae Swing, and Mr. Dalvin, Jodeci shot to fame with their debut album, Forever My Lady. Their music was all about emotional ballads and seductive slow jams, like Come and Talk to Me, Forever My Lady, and Fiendin', which showed off their powerful vocals and gospel-inspired sound. They quickly became fan favorites, thanks to their ability to pour real emotion into their tracks. But as the 90s went on, gangsta rap took over. Artists like Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, and Tupac brought raw, street-focused rap into the spotlight, pushing Jodeci's more romantic and smooth style to the back burner. As the sound shifted, it got harder for Jodeci to stay on top of the mainstream charts. Still, they weren't backing down. They dropped Diary of a Mad Band and The Show, The After Party, The Hotel, which kept them relevant with hits like Cry for You and Freakin' You. Even as the music world was changing, Jodeci stayed true to what they did best, mixing passion with their signature R&B sound. When gangsta rap took over, these guys had a tough time keeping up. But seriously, those catchy hits and their unique style still take us back to when they were everywhere. Still jamming to those classics? Hit that like, subscribe, and make sure to turn on notifications. You won't want to miss what's coming next. See you soon.